Where did people go to the toilet before modern bathrooms existed? And if most homes didn't have a private toilet, where did all that waste actually go? The answer takes us from Roman public toilets to medieval castles and finally to a problem so bad that London had to rebuild its sewer system. In ancient Rome, going to the toilet could be a surprisingly social experience. Public toilets had long stone seats with several holes so people could sit next to each other without private cubicles. But here's the part that sounds almost unbelievable today. Romans didn't have toilet paper. They used a sea sponge fixed to the end of a wooden stick called a tersorium to clean themselves after going to the toilet. And the really strange part, the same kind of sponge could be rinsed and used again, so a person could finish using the toilet, clean themselves with a sponge on a stick, and then that same tool could be used by someone else. For us, that sounds incredibly unhygienic, but for Romans, it was simply part of using a public toilet. And Rome had another advantage: water. Aqueducts brought water into the cities, while drains and sewers helped carry dirty water and waste away. But hundreds of years later, inside a medieval castle, things were much simpler. A toilet might be a small room with a wooden or stone seat and a hole underneath. The waste could fall down a shaft into a pit below or outside the castle walls. At Goodrich Castle in England, toilets were built into the castle itself so people could use them without leaving the building, but somebody still had to clean those pits. That job went to workers known as gong-farmers. They removed the waste from cesspits and carried it away. Some of it could even be used as fertilizer, and the problem didn't disappear when people moved into ordinary homes. For centuries, many London houses relied on chamber pots and cesspits. At night, you might have a chamber pot sitting right beside your bed. When it was full, someone had to empty it. As London grew, the amount of waste grew with it, and eventually, the city could no longer handle it. By the summer of 1858, the River Thames had become badly polluted with sewage and other waste. The weather was hot, the river level dropped, and the smell became so terrible that people called it the Great Stink. Even Parliament could no longer ignore the problem. The government approved money for a huge new sewer system, and engineer Joseph Bazalgette was given the job of building it. He designed miles of underground brick sewers and pumping stations that carried London's waste away from the crowded parts of the city. The main work was completed in 1875, and much of Bazalgette's system is still part of London's sewer network today. So the story of the toilet is really a story about something much bigger. The Romans had public toilets and sewers. Medieval castles had toilet shafts and cesspits. Later, people relied on chamber pots and workers who carried the waste away. And Victorian London eventually had to build a huge underground system just to deal with what millions of people were producing every day. So the next time you walk into a modern bathroom and flush, remember, you're not just looking at a toilet, you're looking at a solution to a problem humans have been dealing with for thousands of years.